Hey, welcome to the Rest of Compass. I'm your host, Will Finch, and today, well, we're outside enjoying the weather, and I want to thank you guys for joining me. Man, I just got done at the gym. It's been a pretty good day. Got a lot of stuff done. A lot of stuff to talk about today. We got, well, the gym. I've said many times that this is basically my staple of my day. It's one thing that gets me through everything, even when things I can't control nothing, because I can't control whether I go to the gym or any of that good stuff. So at all costs, there's two things I really do in a day, every day. And one is wake up, make my bed. Two, I go to the gym. I don't care if it's for 30 minutes or 2 hours. I go to the gym. Try to figure out the schedule for myself on that. That kind of varies, but usually I clear my mind. And I just work out things when I'm at the gym. And in turn, I get a good physique out of it. Or at least that's the hopes anyway. But no, it's just one of the staples. I've been working out since I was, my entire life basically. Playing basketball and stuff as kids, and joining the Army when I was 18, all the way up into my 30s, and that's kind of been the staple of my day. My day-to-day routines. And well, I got out and I lost that routine, and it didn't do me so well. I fell into some bad habits, and just my mind, my body, everything was just not cohesive, right? So started making bad decisions, and it all just turned into a bunch of bad stuff, like eating wrong and just getting very unhealthy. So when I decided on this journey to fix myself, because I got really fed up with my life, that I wanted to have something that kind of glued it all together. I got big ambitions, and I'm trying to do a bunch of different things, but I needed something that kept me grounded. And for me, that was the gym. So maybe you guys can find something that does a similar effect for you. It could be, I have lots of things really. Music is a huge thing for me, which you guys already know. The gym. You could do some art. Maybe you write in a notebook or something, about your thoughts or something. Maybe get all the thoughts out of your head and write it in a notebook or on a whiteboard. I like to use whiteboards, at least for my planning stuff. But, there's a bunch of different methods and different things that you could do. Go on a hike. Go outside. It's wonderful. It's a little bit chilly today, but guess what? I'm still out here. I'm showing up. And what that does for yourself is subconsciously, it shows that you're not giving up, and no matter how you feel, you're still going to make it happen. Your 100% isn't always going to be a drastic outcome, right? Maybe your 100% is 100% of what you had left over, but no matter what you do, is when you get into these types of things, is just give it, give it all you can. Sometimes that's going to look like a lot less than the day before, or maybe tomorrow will look like a whole lot more than today. But it's over time you see those consistencies, or not the consistencies, but over time you see the results with the consistency. Just like the gym. You're not going to go in there, work out, and then all of a sudden be like, yeah, I'm ripped. No, it don't work that way. You're going to go in there day in, day out, and chances are the subtleties are going to be, or the changes are going to be so subtle, you may not even notice it, except for your energy is probably better, your mindset's a little bit less foggy, or whatever the case. But you know who is? Everybody else around you is the ones noticing it. So I get compliments all the time, like, man, you're buff, or blah, blah, blah. I'm not really that buff, but you know what I'm saying? Like, at least I don't feel like I look that way, but there's a lot of different things you can do to do that. But that kind of leads me into my points for today is, on this really nice windy afternoon in Daytona here, what is it that you do to help get through those crappy times? Because I know we all go through them. Mine is music. I write music. I DJ music. I go and shoot photography. I've been doing these videos, and I go to the gym. Those are kind of my if you want to call it, a crutch to get me through any of the intruding thoughts or any of that negative stuff that we all get when we're just not doing anything. If you feel like you're unproductive, well, you might just be being unproductive, or you never know. What you feel is unproductive might be running circles around somebody else. You got to be the gauge of that. And the way to do that do that effectively, in my opinion, would be to ground yourself. And you could do that a number of ways, like I said. Just go for a walk, outside. You get so much clarity and just clear-minded stuff when you just detach from all the social medias, the TVs, the newspapers, the day-to-day hustle and bustle and the dramas. Like, take some time to go do your own thing. It's okay. It may feel weird at first if you're not accustomed to it, but who cares? Go do it. You want to go to a movie? Go sit in a movie by yourself. I do it. I go sit in a movie by myself. I eat dinner by myself. It's not because I'm lonely. It's because I'm that comfortable. But, there's a lot of you out there that have watched my videos, and it's helping you guys for whichever reason it is, which is great. I'm so grateful for that, because that's the reason I'm making this kind of content, is to kind of give you guys some experience, or share my experience, not give you some experience. I can't give you experience. You got to go do that on your own. But I can share all my experiences, because we all probably have similar or shared experiences in dealing with, whether it's traumas or just drama or just day-to-day stuff. It doesn't even have to be all that other psychological stuff, right? It just be day-to-day stuff. I know a lot of guys, we think we got good circles and all this other stuff that we could talk to people, but, you really got to find those circles that are a comfort zone to be able to talk like this. Me, I don't care. I'm going to talk it anyway. So the thing about it is, we have to have outlets, and a lot of times mine is the gym, because I sit here and I give you guys my life experiences, but in the background I got very few people I go to talk about this kind of stuff, and nothing wrong with that. It's just I would rather share my experiences with y'all than, well, I'm not gonna say necessarily avoid mine, because I don't really have too many terrible things going on, but I've been blessed to be able to share my experiences, because I've been through a ton of them, more than I care to actually admit, probably. But, they all did lead me to this one moment right here at this river in Daytona Beach, talking to you guys on my phone, or not my phone, but my camera, my microphones, all that good stuff. I've been definitely blessed to be able to have these things and be able to do these things and get out in front and, talk to people. So I'd love to hear what you guys are going through, and maybe I could shine some perspective, or shine some light and new perspective on whatever you're dealing with, doesn't matter. I may have not ever done that, but I might have some valuable perspective about it. You never know. And I promise you never get judged by me. It is what it is, let's talk about it. But I really wanted to say and reach out there to everybody that maybe dealing with just crappy situations. I talked about a few things of how to deal with in coping and finding new ways with that kind of stuff. It's like grounding yourself and finding outlets like the gym, because the gym's not easy, but I have found like I don't always want to go to the gym, but if I do get there, I will make use of it. So I force myself to. In fact, I found a lot of times when I don't want to do something, that's when I try twice as hard to do it, because usually that's where you reap the most rewards in my scenarios that I've ever been through, or in my cases, scenarios, whatever you want to call them. We got a little plane above us, probably watching me from the sky. No, they probably can't even see me. Nah, but the thing is, you got to know that you're not always alone. You may feel like that, and that's okay too. But just know you're not. If you're a veteran or first responder or anyone really, a lot of times, and I speak on those because we oftentimes are the ones out there helping, and not to say that other, we'll call them civilians, that they're not out helping, because they are, but our first and foremost thing is to get out there and help. Like, that's just our first instinct. It kind of, everyone keeps talking to me about, well, you got to put your not gas mask, you got to don on your own oxygen mask before anything, before you can help people. I'm like, no, I've most definitely helped all kinds of people. And, but it has left me a little jaded on that end. So you never know. It's just one of those things that you just got to be able to find that balance and, find that good stuff. Search out the good stuff, because there's always good stuff out there. Doesn't matter if you're going through a bad time or a good time. There's always a positive and a negative to every situation. Doesn't matter what it is. You could be having the time of your life, but there is a negative part to that. Let's just not choose to focus on that. Let's keep it, in a positive light. But there are ways to go about things and do things and, all these other things. I mean, there's just so much stuff out there. What you can do is also, so let me backtrack a little bit because I got off track there. But if you find yourself in these positions and stuff that you're always helping and you don't feel like you got the help or whatever, sorry, I've heard something. So there are people out there that are absolutely willing to help. I personally have worked with sheepdog impact assistance quite a bit, on some DRMs and, going out to the ranch and stuff like that. So that's just one avenue. You got the Wounded Warrior Project that does stuff. I mean, there's so many projects out there that people are out there actively trying to help. So you just got to find the right one. And, it could be a number of things. Sometimes you find it the first time, sometimes you don't. Just don't give up. I'll tell you that much. You'll never make it anywhere if you give up. So, dealing with, the struggles of everyday life and, oh man, it's just a lot sometimes, and that's okay. Because I assure you, you're not the only one feeling it. I'm feeling it. I got a lot of things going on. Part of me didn't want to make this video today because I just didn't feel like it. But, I have to. If I don't, I'm not doing my due diligence to help anyone. And I help people in real life too all the time. But this is a way for me to reach out to those that aren't in my direct vicinity, right? So, I don't know, man. Another outlet that I found to be really helpful for me was my love for motorcycles. I just get on that motorcycle and I ride and I ride and I ride. I'm not just talking about 20, 30 miles, guys. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of miles just for a cheeseburger in a new town, Hopefully here pretty soon I can get back to doing those things. Because I absolutely love those things, and I get so much clarity when I'm on a motorcycle. And maybe a motorcycle's not the best thing for everybody, but no, I'm just lying. It is. I mean, I can't deny that. But don't be afraid of them. Just watch out for them. But no, back to the thing though. If you're struggling with stuff, man, you got to understand that some of our own criticisms stop us from progressing. And a lot of that stuff derives probably from childhood, some traumas, outside external pieces that have we allowed as intrusive thoughts over time or whatever it could have been, that just don't happen overnight. Sometimes it might. But you get these intrusive thoughts, but all those thoughts are seeds planted by outside sources, right? So what I did a long time ago is I got down to the question of, I know it's going to sound crazy, but are these my own thoughts? And if not, where did they come from? And it come down to the point of I was like, man, do I actually enjoy doing this? Or is it just something that I was kind of molded to enjoy, And it's okay if you don't enjoy something. If you don't want to participate in something, don't. It's your choice. Literally, everything in life is your choice. Now, your circumstances or whatever may not be, but you do have a choice in the matter. But also, question the options that are being shown, because there's always more options. Absolutely. They might not be the easiest, but, it's crazy because I've been through a bunch of stuff. I had a problem with, I wouldn't say I had a problem with drinking, but a lot of my problems derived from drinking. We'll put it that way. So I just cut it out, over time. Of course, it didn't just happen overnight. So, and, I even went to a treatment, I was in drugs, alcohol, all kinds of stuff. But my choice to be fed up with that, I got tired of waking up the next morning, be like, man, I fucking regret that, or I hated that I did that, or whatever the case. And you just got to get through those times, and I know some of you out there probably feeling the same way about some of your own actions. Maybe it's drinking. We'll go with drinking. You wake up like, man, I just didn't mean to drink that much last night. Well, quit having that conversation with yourself. And what I mean by that is you're obviously tired of having that same conversation. So just quit doing the thing that you hate doing. It really is. Don't get me wrong. It sucks going through some of that stuff. When I was in a treatment one time, I had my bunk person that was in the same room. He was going through heroin withdrawals. And boy, I thought alcohol was bad. That opiate stuff that was nasty. That was freaky to me because, man, they were going through some stuff, man. Let me tell you. If you guys never seen that, I pray that you don't, because that's not an easy task. But I really hope that I kind of lost touch with that person, but I really hope that person's, staying on their track and getting to where they're needing to go. So, but I say that because some of the tough stuff to go through, you have to go through to get to where you're going. There's no, way around things sometimes. And oftentimes, if you're trying to find ways around things, you're spending more time and effort trying to go around them than just doing it. So I guess the main point I'm trying to say here is, man, you're not alone, but sometimes it's necessary to go through those traumas and the just crappy stuff. We don't even have to call it traumas, because I just don't like that, but I just call it life. In order to get through that stuff, sometimes you just gotta suck it up and go through it. Does it help sometimes having people there with you to guide you through? Absolutely, but you also gotta know that you can do it on your own. And I think that's a really important aspect that life personally has shown me. So, man, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think, man? It's just a lot going on. I don't know. But life has shown me a lot of things. And, if there's something you guys need help with or want me to touch base on, man, just leave it in the comments below. And then I'll look at it when I get a chance. And then, we'll address it. When I was going through the military, I was having a great time. great time, excellent, soldier, leader, all kinds of stuff. And then I didn't take care of my mental health because I didn't even think that was a necessary thing. So what I would say is, with that being said, take some time to yourself, man. Whether it's 10 minutes or an hour, make sure at least at some point during your day, you just take a minute to just think about how grateful you are, if you are grateful, but just think about how far you've come and what you've gone through to get to where you're at now. You may not be where you want to be right now, but think about all the stuff you've been through, and don't think of it in the light of being, man, that was just crappy. Well, guess what? You made it through it. You've seen another day. Now go out and do it again, And eventually building these habits and stuff over time is going to put you in such a good place that you're just going to look back at those times and be like, man, that wasn't so bad. So I'm going to leave you guys with that today. We got a bunch of stuff coming up. I got some DJ gigs. If you guys don't know, I got my Studio Ascension channel. That's my studio. And my DJ channel, that is DJ Goodwill. So I do DJ events and all that good stuff too. So along with photography and videography work and coaching and counseling, mentoring, that kind of stuff. So catch me out on one of those channels. I got a bunch of good stuff coming up. My friend Kitty just got down here a day or two ago. So she'll be coming back on the show. She's going to be helping co-host, and she's basically body doubling me down here, trying to keep me motivated. It's not something you guys see behind the scenes, but, you see in the front of the camera, but you never see behind the scenes. So sometimes behind the scenes is not a pretty sight. It's like, fuck, I don't want to do this. You just got to get off the couch, go do this. Just push yourself to do things. And I'll leave you with that today, and go out there and do great things, even if it is just making someone smile today. So thank you for joining me, and I'm Will, the host of The Rusted Compass, and have a great day. See you guys soon.